Hey, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. It's our Thanksgiving episode. And I thought, well, I should be with my love. Honestly, I'd like to be with my two loves, but my other love is cramming for work and school and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm sure he would love to be here too. So
Yes,
there's that.
there is.
I have something for you in honor of
What?
Thanksgiving. I have this for you.
Took that from the front yard.
Yes. How do you? Maybe I did. You
Because
don't
I
know.
bought it.
It could look. I could have gotten one that looked just like it. Here.
Well, wait, it's perfect for the set, actually.
That's what I was thinking.
I love that.
I had a turkey, but it ran away.
Well, I love
Oscar
the baby
chased it
pumpkin.
away.
Thank you. I'm glad it's actually still alive and not moldy as it sits by the front flower pot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, my darling.
Hey, baby. It's good
Happy
to
Thanksgiving.
have you on the podcast. You know, people ask about you all the time. They love having you on the podcast.
They ask why.
No, they don't ask why. But a lot of my ladies also follow you on your social media.
Which I'm grateful for. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you've noticed some of them, and they love your weekly victories that you're now doing on Monday and your weekly devotional. Well, it was daily victories, but that's a lot of victory,
Yeah,
which is
and,
wonderful
I
to have.
I loved doing it, but as this particular season, pardon the pun,
Yeah.
there's so much going on, so many responsibilities, and it becomes hard to get one out every day. And I didn't want anyone to ever feel like I was dialing in. I didn't want to feel
Yes.
like I was just dialing it in. I take them very seriously, and so I felt like it would be better to cut it back to once a week and actually think about it, pray about it, see what God kind of prompts me to talk about and say, and instead of trying to like squeeze
Force
something
it.
out every day, you know?
No, I think you do such a beautiful job with them. I love watching them because I know the inception generally starts when you and I are reading together, and a passage may strike you, and you'll think, oh, I really like that, or that resonates with me. How can I expand that and bring that to this audience, and what might they be thinking about, or where are they in their life, and how is this applicable? So I love seeing the process and the end result, but I just want to compliment you on that because it's beautiful.
Thank you,
and
sweetheart.
It's part of
In
your
fact,
ministry.
we read something last week that I thought would be good for us to talk about today at the right time.
Oh, okay.
We're
I
just
can't
kinda-
wait to see what you're
we're
going to
just kinda
spring on me
getting
besides a
started here,
pumpkin.
But I think it fits right into the Thanksgiving motif.
Oh,
so.
I love that. Love it so. We'll be talking so much about what we are grateful for, which I think is incredibly important. First of all, every single day to start off with gratitude.
Yes.
But if there were ever an opportunity, because we're surrounded by oftentimes friends and family during the holiday, and what a unique time to be able to express gratitude and things that you're thankful for when you have a captive audience that you don't always necessarily have.
Yeah, and I feel like Thanksgiving, simply by its proximity to Christmas, it gets real close to that commercialization.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's just on the periphery of all of the frantic commercialization and hype of Christmas. You know, it's kind of in the neighborhood, and it gets a little of that, which I've always really struggled with because I feel very strongly about shallow, fleeting elements taking the place of what the holiday was intended to be.
Yeah, we've talked about that extensively. I even did a podcast just on I'd say a reframe that I've had over the years. It has been an epiphany for me, shall we say, and I think a lot of it is, again, not to use the pun, seasonal, but the seasons in your life and where you are, and coming from having a family and a son and growing up and the young years, everything takes on a very different meaning. But once I entered the empty nest scene and, was a single mom for a while, and now it's you and me, and it's a quiet home, everything
You and
has...
me and our furry son.
Well, that's true. I can't forget our furry son. And for him, he's just thankful for treats, which is
Yes,
a daily occurrance.
Give me a turkey treat.
Give me a beef stick.
Take it.
I'm happy. It just has such a different feel, and I like the way it feels. I like
Me
it
too.
so much so that I don't ever want to be resentful of how I did things in the past, but I can see now areas where there could have been correction. And it's okay. Hindsight's 2020, as they say. You can't go back, but you can certainly do things differently now.
Yes.
And you can certainly teach the younger generation what is important, and maybe they don't fall into the same traps you did.
Yeah. I spent many years at a boarding school. I didn't get in trouble.
You
Every
by
time
choice.
I say
I know,
I
every
went to a
time,
boarding school, she
he's
was like,
a bad kid.
"What did you do wrong?" Like you were sent there. No, I wanted to go. I begged my mom to
Yeah.
let me go.
Well, tell everybody which one and why.
Well, when I was in junior high school, so like what, 7th, 8th grade,
Yeah.
my uncles and a lot of the older kids at my church went to Bob Jones University or Liberty University or Pensacola Christian universities. And I remember saying to my mom once, I think that would be really fun. Like, what an adventure.
Sure.
Right? And my mother said, you know what? If you're serious about that, I will look into how early they will let you board in the dormitories, because Bob Jones University also had Bob Jones Academy, which was a senior high school, 9 to 12. It was on the campus of the university. The same professors taught in the academy that taught in the university.
Right.
The only difference was we would go to different buildings for the high school. So she found out they would let you board at 14 years old. So I went down there at 14, 9th grade, lived in dorms with college guys. Can you imagine
No.
being in college and having a 14-year-old little scrawny kid, your roommate, and all the
Did
same.
you get picked on a lot?
Oh my goodness.
Was it brutal?
All the same
Because
responsibilities.
just think about the hormones and just the difference between a 14 and an 18-year-old. It's like a boy and a man.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I felt like I was in a room with 3 grown-ups. I mean, there were 4 of us in the dorm room. And however, Thanksgiving would come along. And, I was 12 hours from home, so there wasn't going to be any going home for Thanksgiving. We didn't get a Thanksgiving break. We had a Christmas break.
You didn't get a Thanksgiving one? See, I
No.
remember back in the day, I just got Thanksgiving and the day after. Now the kids get a whole week.
Yeah, well, that was what I got. Like
Okay.
Thanksgiving maybe and a day, but not enough to fly home and fly back. And so my memories of Thanksgiving being away from home and family was simply the special meal at the dining common. As
would you
crazy
get?
as that is. I mean, turkey, they had kind of a rotation of the same regular things. And then at Thanksgiving, there would be turkey and dressing and these amazing rolls. They always had rolls, but not these rolls. I don't even know what it was, but they were like part crescent roll and part regular roll. But
a hybrid.
I can still see them in my mind, what they looked like. And as a 14-year-old, you get excited about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
The bread.
the special bread.
special bread.
And I can still remember the butter melting over. You put it in the middle and it would, because they were warm.
Yeah.
And then the championship soccer game
Oh, at
was,
your school?
yes, at the university. The Turkey Bowl
Oh, yeah.
was on Thanksgiving. So they had 2 different sections. All the fraternities were divided into 2 sections, and then the winner of each of those sections would play for the final game. It was the Turkey Bowl, and that was pretty much the highlight of Thanksgiving for the 6 years
Wow.
that I was away from home.
Did
4
you ever
years in high school and 2 years into the university.
But did you ever during that time, and I'm sure obviously a lot of students stayed, so you weren't, the lone kid there.
Yeah.
But did you ever feel like you were missing out on family and experiences? And I mean, you've got your parents were, I guess, divorced at that time, right?
Oh, yes.
So you would have gone with your mom. I mean, and what was your mom doing at Thanksgiving time?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
We should call her and ask.
We
I
should
don't
call
even know,
Barb.
really. I don't know. She was kind of a loner too. It wasn't until I was 17 that she remarried.
Right.
And I don't know if she got together. I do know this, and I'm very, very, very proud of her for this. For the last several decades, actually, she has served at church on Thanksgiving, because the church that she attended for many years would provide a meal, would make a meal, and they would invite families and people that may be down on their luck or in need of some particular goods or clothes or a good meal. And she would go there and serve and clean up. And I remember thinking, even when I was younger, how proud I was that she would take the time instead of sitting there and gorging herself with food, like is kind of the stereotype of Thanksgiving, that she would serve others. And that always stuck with me.
Yeah, well.
So I, for many years, would look for ways to do that as well. Because I think, sorry to get so deep so quick, but I think that the holidays, in many ways, it's so funny. We spend 300 and some odd days, most people, thinking about themselves, thinking about what they want, what will give them joy, what will give them pleasure, what will make them happy. And then there are these couple of holidays that you're supposed to focus on something else,
Besides
anything
yourself.
else. Jesus, gratitude for what you've been given. And still, our system wants us to make it about ourselves.
Yeah.
What we're going to eat, what we're going to watch on TV, what presents we're going to get. I mean, it's really, when you think about it from a spiritual standpoint, it's profoundly sad and unfortunate that a lot of people can't take 2 days from their entire year to focus on something other than what they're going to get out of that day. And Christmas is obviously the big daddy of that kind of attitude. But as I say, kind of on the orbiting, kind of on the outside edge of Christmas, Thanksgiving is a little bit like that too. People think, I mean, you ask people, what do you think of when you think of Thanksgiving? What do they say immediately?
Turkey, food,
meal.
food.
What I'm going to
eat.
ingest.
Yeah.
It still is about them instead of what do you have to be grateful for? Better yet, like my mom, how can I serve someone else? What can I do to express my gratitude by getting out of my own head and focusing on others?
Well, it's systemic of society and consumerism and industry. And you look at also what's happened. I mean, you mentioned this earlier that we're sort of in the wave of this season where one thing leads to the other, where it's more spending and more spending. I mean, ever since, and I don't remember any of this when I was growing up, but now you've got Black Friday right after.
Exactly.
Okay.
There
So
it
then
is.
that's become a thing
Yeah.
because stores need the revenue. So they allegedly deeply discount, during this time to get people in. And now because of the internet, you've got Cyber Monday. So that leads into this whole kind of craziness throughout the month of December.
Yeah.
And, I touched upon it a little bit. And look, and I'm not, me, I am not, as somebody who receives a lot of judgment, I am not one to judge others. My feeling has always been walk your walk and be in your lane. And if you're going to choose certain things, do it coming from a place of peace, from a place of resource, from a place of, I can do this. I have the, desire for whatever reason. I have the funds. This is where I want, to spend the money. For me, having a beautifully lit, colorful house with the garland and the tree and the decor and all of that. If that makes you happy and if that makes you feel a part of the spirit, then by all means do that. But I have moved out of that, as have you. So it's very much a part of our experience to not buy in to the consumerism of the holidays and what they're supposed to look like and feel like. And for me, it's about tradition. And you touched a bit on food. And food for me was sort of that grounding family force. I did not have a traditional family at all, as we've discussed. I mean, I come from the smallest family on the planet. I'm an only. My dad was an only. My mom was an only. No aunts, uncles, cousins. So the typical family feel that you get during the holidays, it was always us three. And my grandparents were either in Philadelphia on my mom's side or in Florida, and they wouldn't really fly in for the holidays. So it was the three of us. And my dad, who was an immigrant, loved this country, loved Thanksgiving because he was such a proud American. So for him, it was about the holiday and bringing that traditional German meal from Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
which was the turkey, which,
Yes.
and we'll talk more about that, and making that for Thanksgiving. And I will tell you, baby, that my family, we weren't tight like a lot of families are. It was more old school, more the father, kind of the patriarch, the provider. My mother was like glued to my hip. I was the greatest thing since sliced rye bread. So, it was mom and I kind of, being a little rat pack, but there wasn't ever this family nucleus of doing things as a family per se.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something about Thanksgiving that made us feel like a family.
Hmm.
And there was something about that meal in particular that brought in tradition and history and sort of things that I was craving because I didn't have it. And it was the one thing that I was grateful to be able to carry and bring bring to you, which was something that we did
Yes.
last year. And it's that one piece of tradition, and it's interesting that it's centered around food, but food often has historical origins of
Mm-hmm.
where you come from, and not everything is made the same way. And I love the fact that our meal looks different because its origin is Hamburg, Germany. And so there's a taste of history in all of that and a taste of connection to something that I never quite felt connected to.
Yeah.
So I think maybe, in some instances, that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. As I mentioned, when I was in school away from home, there wasn't any family gathering at Thanksgiving for me.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, it's cloudy. I mean, one of the downsides when you get old is like, what
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 did
was
I
going
do?
on when I was 10 and 11? I don't know.
Right.
But then I got married, and I must tell you, one of the things that I treasured deeply
Mm,
when I got married was having a family.
yeah.
Um, Suddenly, immediately, having two children,
Mm-hmm.
two dogs, a wife, and then her sister,
Mm-hmm.
her parents, and there was suddenly family get-togethers at Christmas
Yeah.
and Thanksgiving, and I loved it. And I mean, this was 25 years ago, but when that ended, I think, if I'm being vulnerable, one of the things I felt great loss over was suddenly not having a family anymore.
Yeah.
And those holidays that are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be about family and fellowship and connection, suddenly, I was by myself again.
Mm.
And that was one of the things that I felt a great deal of loss over.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you cook together? I mean, what was the,
well, my ex-wife's mom was quite a cook.
mm-hmm.
She and my ex-wife and sister would do a lot of the preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad and probably me and probably my stepson would hang out, and there'd be some ball game on television. The
The
standard
typical stereotype.
stereotypical thing. But what meant the most to me was
Mm.
the family.
Yeah.
Was suddenly I was part of a family.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't been for a very long time, and that was something that I deeply cherished and treasured about being married, and it was something that I felt great loss over when that marriage ended.
Yeah. It's understandable. It's everything operates differently when you have a spouse, children, elders. There's so much going on. Craziness and good, depending on how things are carried out.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I know how strong your faith is in your belief system. So I know, without having been there and seen it, I know the rooting of the celebration and how you all kind of conducted yourselves and the meaning behind the season.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand that it was, all about the right stuff. And I've, also seen and experienced where it can also go the other way, where it's so much about stuff, me, presentation, how things look, and it can be it can be exhausting. It can be fun and invigorating, but also very exhausting at the same time. So it's just, I think it's so interesting how we journey through these different seasons in life, and not everything stays the same. And I think that's something really important to talk about because we change, family dynamics change. We may no longer be in those marriages. We may no longer have parents around, or children are grown. And I think that if you don't get to the root of what something is really about, then it can feel very lonely. And then to your point, what you said about your mother, I love, because therein lies the opportunity for it not to be lonely, and for it to again be rooted in what it's all about, and giving thanks and gratitude. And then you're thinking, well, I'm grateful because I'm able bodied and able minded to go out and be in servitude and
Yeah.
help somebody this season, which
Yeah.
just fills you in your heart.
Yeah. It's Thanksgiving, not thanks taking,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
And as believers, one of the recurring themes in the scripture is it is better to give than to receive. And we're so immersed and buried in the idea of receiving that a lot of people don't even realize the intrinsic joy in giving.
Yeah.
They think, oh, it's going to be so awesome if I get this. Well, maybe it will be. But you don't even know how awesome it would be for you to give that to somebody, and the joy that you would receive by giving to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
It almost seems counterintuitive. Like, why would I be happy giving you something? I would be happy if somebody gives me something. Well, that's the kind of the surface uh, attitude behind it. But the moment you flip that upside down
Mm-hmm.
and follow the scriptures idea that
Mm-hmm.
give of yourself, and it will be given to you. The last shall be the first shall be last. It turns so many conventional ideas on its head that the more you give, the more you receive.
The holidays can turn any kitchen into command central, and my Caraway cookware, especially my new beautiful black and gold set, it is working overtime. Here is the exciting news. Caraway is having their site-wide holiday sale with up to 20% off. I love the fact that every beautiful piece is completely non-toxic. It heats evenly. Nothing sticks. And it's one of those rare things that is both stunning to look at and truly functional. When I'm in cooking cozy season, favorites like soups, stews, my husband's meat sauce that he adores, even a little holiday baking. Hey, we've got the holidays right around the corner. Caraway just makes everything smoother. Cleanup is so quick, storage simple, and it feels good knowing I'm using something safe for my family. And those scary stats are real, you guys. We can ingest up to 10 grams of plastic a year. Over 70% of pans contain PTFE, and microwaving plastic releases millions of microplastics. Hard pass. Look, the holidays are closer than ever, so get their gift or yours in time. Visit carawayhome.com/flourishing to take advantage of this limited time offer for up to 20% off your next purchase. Again, that is carawayhome.com/flourishing to get new kitchenware before the holidays. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. I have finally found the cleanest and best tasting protein powder out there, Clean Simple Eats, and I am all in. You know I'm on a protein journey, and this is one that finally checks every box for me. What I love so much about Clean Simple Eats is that there's nothing artificial. It's third-party tested, non-GMO, soy-free, zero added sugar, and each serving has 20 grams of grass-fed whey protein isolate. It feels good knowing that I'm putting something clean in my body, especially first thing in the morning. And guys, let me tell you, this stuff is creamy. It blends beautifully into a smoothie. I like this simply vanilla. You can also bake with it. Throw it into some recipes when you want something sweet but still high protein. It is the most delicious, easy way to get enough protein in every single day, which we all know is important, especially in midlife. And they have so many incredible flavors. You have to check them out. And if you don't know where to start, they have a variety pack where you can try individual servings and then, of course, find the ones that you love. And here's the extra fun part. In addition to their classic protein powders, Clean Simple Eats has their clear protein powder, which is having a major moment right now. The pink burst flavor, oh my gosh, it's like a melted pink starburst. You mix it with water and it becomes this refreshing light drink with 20 grams of protein. No heaviness, no chalkiness. It's perfect in the afternoon when you want something sweet but still nourishing. Visit cleansimpleeats.com. Use code flourishing20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's cleansimpleeats.com, code flourishing20 for 20% off your first order. My husband and I really enjoy a clean, healthy home, especially during the holidays when people and the dog are coming in and out. Now, most conventional cleaners are loaded with harsh fragrances and disinfectants that can irritate skin, disrupt hormones, and pollute your indoor air long after you've sprayed them. That's why I love Branch Basics. The mission is really simple. Your health should never be compromised by the products you use to clean. The Branch Basics Starter Kit is a powerful plant and mineral based solution that cleans every room in your home without the harmful chemicals. With just one concentrate, you make every bottle you need: kitchen counters, bathroom tile, laundry, even washing produce and makeup brushes. And because it's a refill system, each bottle comes out to just $2.13. Boy, that's clean living. That's really affordable. It's one of the simplest, most impactful swaps you can make for a safer, healthier home, and it makes a thoughtful gift as well. Get yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, the gift of clean with Branch Basics. For a limited time only, our listeners get 15% off and free shipping on their premium starter pack when you use code OVER50 at branchbasics.com/over50. That's 15% off your order at branchbasics.com/over50 with promo code OVER50. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Get Branch Basics this holiday season because cleanliness matters. Have you tried every health trend and still feel a little flat? Same. That's why I got curious about what's happening deeper at the cellular level. Enter the first ever longevity gummies powered by MitoPure. They are a delicious, easy way to treat yourself and put more steady energy into your day. Here's the big idea. MitoPure delivers clinically proven urolithin A, which supports cellular energy, strength, and healthy aging from the inside out. Think of it like recharging your internal batteries so you can feel like yourself again. In fact, MitoPure is the #1 doctor-recommended urolithin A supplement, and it delivers 6 times more urolithin A than a glass of pomegranate juice. There's even data showing it can increase muscle strength by up to 12% after 16 weeks. What I love, these gummies fit seamlessly into my routine. No pills, no mixing. I keep them on the kitchen counter. It is the easiest yes of my day. The formula is vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, clean label, project certified, and NSF content certified with no artificial ingredients, so it feels clean and intentional. If you're focused on fitness, hitting plateaus, and you just want to get more from the healthy habits you already have, this is such a smart, approachable upgrade. And if you want to stay strong and energized now and as you age, then you have to try MitoPure gummies. My friends at Timeline are offering 20% off just for my listeners. Head to timeline.com/flourishing to get started. That's timeline.com/flourishing. Your cells will thank you. No, I love how you're talking, and I loved your line. It's not Thanksgiving, it's Thanksgiving. And I remember Court's here. Was it 3 years ago? We were at the Houston Food Bank and we did a video. We did a video at Thanksgiving, volunteering your time and what that can look like and what it means. And we talked about, and I talked to the CEO of the Houston Food Bank and put on the plastic gloves and the hairnet and got in there and helped them with prepping. And
how did it make you feel?
It felt great. And you know what I loved? Here's what I love, baby. I love seeing everybody from all walks of life in there volunteering, from children to the elderly, because that's what God asks us to do.
And you know, the people that are in need.
That's right.
When they come there, they're so grateful that anyone cares.
Right.
That anyone would care enough to take the time to serve them when many of them probably feel very unworthy of being served. Yeah. Maybe many of them feel forgotten, you know?
And think about how many right now are in that situation and are even too embarrassed to ask. You know, people, there's so much shame around food insecurity. that they're too embarrassed. And I encourage all of us to find those people, to offer them a meal, invite them
Yes.
over. Go through your local church. So many churches do so much during the holidays to help feed the needy during that time.
Yeah.
Contact your local food bank. I mean, that's one thing I think too that you can do as a family. I mean, let's say you are blessed with overflow and you are having one of those amazing Thanksgiving where it's so much food and turkey. Afterwards, instead of watching the parade or the dog show or the things that follow, go volunteer, go see what you can do.
As soon as I had a chance to respond, I was going to look at the camera and saying I would like to challenge all of you to find some place to serve other people on Thanksgiving and see if you are not blessed beyond what you ever imagined.
Yeah. And it may completely reframe how you move through Thanksgiving years ahead.
It will. It absolutely will.
I believe that. I think it takes on a whole new meaning. And the other thing too, there's so much waste. There's so much overconsumption. I mean, think about how many times we have the meal and then there's leftovers. I mean, we would joke. I mean, first it's like leftover turkey day 1, then it's leftover turkey day 2. Then it's like, okay, what's left? Now we're going to cut that up, make like turkey salad. And then we're going to take the turkey carcass and we're going to make a soup out of that. And it's like, how many days, can you string out so you don't feel like you're wasting all of this food? But there is so much food that goes to waste. And it's, again, just a time to be mindful, not to overconsume. I just think there are a lot of people, baby, in that space of mindfulness about finances and just waste in general, because we waste so much.
And Thanksgiving, this is part of the tradition, has been turkey and dressing and cranberry sauce and pumpkin pie. Like there's certain
Sure.
bean
Staples.
casserole, whatever.
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving has zero to do with that. You could eat a PBJ
Which you would probably prefer.
happily
Wait, you don't want my turkey?
with an ice cold glass
With a
of
glass
milk.
of milk. I was waiting for that.
Because it's not about the food.
Yeah.
It's about focusing your mind on gratitude, which personally we should do every day.
Yes.
But that day in particular was officially set aside to give thanks. And it's not giving thanks for the turkey or the dressing. It's giving thanks for your life and for the myriad of gifts and blessings you've been given. Like when we prayed this morning, the air in our lungs, our heart kept pumping all night long when we were sound asleep. We didn't have anything to do with that. No. So much to be grateful for, and it has nothing to do with kind of the surface elements of these holidays.
Yeah. I think a great opportunity for families, and a lot of families do this as part of their tradition, but especially if it's a large group and gathering, to go around the table and talk about what it is that you're thankful for.
Absolutely.
And give everybody an opportunity, and make it not just today, but what are you thankful for this year? Is there something special, someone of significance, or, something that happened where you can offer gratitude, or maybe it's just for the person at the table, somebody that you haven't seen in a while. But I think it gets you out of, and especially children, it's a great lesson for children to start this gratitude practice. And you can even prompt them earlier on, like, hey, we're going to be going around the table, giving thanks, start thinking. So that way you're not put on the spot and, it's like, I'm thankful for these creamy mashed potatoes because they're awesome. Eat something a little meatier.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I think that there are opportunities that we as parents and elders, even though I don't feel like one, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like, I just feel like there are so many opportunities to offer gratitude. And
Absolutely.
and here's another thing that I personally have loved, just by being a content creator and having my mom on my platform, and even my dad. He was living in Florida with my stepmom at the time, And I shot a video with him baking the German pound cake, which I'm going to make again
I loved it.
for
Yes, that was
Thanksgiving, because
great.
it turns into, it's a wonderful cake with coffee in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But such wonderful traditions to be around. But the point that I'm making is I feel blessed that I got to capture my parents in their senior years on camera, doing things, talking about things of tradition, of history, or even, my mom was on the podcast quite a few times, and just kicking around conversation with her and having questions. The gift of having your parent on camera, especially as they age, and not just on camera, kind of milling about. I mean, conversing, sharing, showing. You talk about something that I'm grateful for, and I tell anybody that I can tell, I'm like, get your parents on camera,
Yeah.
interview them, talk to them, ask them about their Thanksgivings, their history, their childhood. There's so much that we miss, or actually so much that we don't know, because we've yet to take the time to ask.
Yeah. I wish I had done that. I wish I'd done that. I have a cassette recording of my grandma Mignana, classic Italian lady.
Did she speak English?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, but a very strong accent,
Italian
of course. And,
accent.
as I think about it now, I don't think they did the traditional turkey thing.
What would they do? It was like a lasagna? What'd you
feel
get?
like, honestly, I feel like there was ham involved.
Okay,
I
probably.
think they really loved ham. And I can see her kitchen, and I'm telling you.
What did it look like? Did you have like the traditional red and white checkered?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah.
I was literally just going to say.
Paint the picture
the
for
red
us.
and white checkered table. It was kind of oval shaped, and there were lots of chairs around it. And there were these decorative tiles around the kitchen. I can see that you'd walk into the kitchen, and then it would go around this way. The sink was in that corner over there. There was a little pantry back there. There's a little chair in the corner, and I had this uncle. I'm not even kidding.
Come on, give me a good uncle story.
Luigi de Guan. His name was Luigi de Guan.
Didn't I just call you Luigi?
I don't know.
What I
You
call
call me
Guido.
Guido.
Okay.
And I don't even know where he came from.
What?
He just
He showed
appeared.
up?
And my grandparents would tell me, it's your Uncle Luigi. I'm like,
Who?
I was 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, younger.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's not related to anybody here. How is he my uncle,
Right.
But he was, from the day I met him, he was 112. And he would just, he'd sit in the corner.
Give me a good Uncle
Smoking a
Luigi.
cigar in the kitchen.
Of course.
Vittorio, come here. Is him that Luigi? And I'd walk over there kind of sheepishly. He'd
you're
grab me
scared
and
half to
sit me on
death.
his lap. Yeah. And he's like, and I'm and he's like right in my face, you're a good kid. And I never really knew who he was, like how he was related to the family. He was clearly, old school, classic Italian immigrant, like my grandparents, probably came over at the same time.
Yeah.
A lot of them settled around the same area of Western PA.
Do you think maybe he was a good friend of your
I
grandparents
guess.
who just kind of had
How
how
somebody
an
close
uncle?
to the family, Uncle so and so. Yeah. I'm gonna guess in hindsight that that's what it was, because I don't think anyone ever established
Who
a
he
genetic
was.
link to this guy. I can see the chair. There was a door going out to the back porch, and there was a door to the pantry.
Right.
And the little wall, I'm telling, maybe 2 feet wide of the wall, was where the chair sat, and he sat in that chair. It wasn't even at the table. It was just, and he would just show up at like different holidays or special events. He wasn't there all the time, but at the special events,
Yeah.
You'd walk down the little hallway into the kitchen, and boom, Luigi.
Bringing
back.
in family.
Long before there was Mario. And
There's a Luigi.
I had my own Luigi.
That's a good story.
But I don't think there was any. Yeah, there was no real, no traditional food in the Mignana
household.
Mignonia household.
Mignonia. But
See.
you remember a ham and probably a ton of pasta.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
My grandma made the best stuffed rigatoni. they made these big rigatoni.
Yeah, the big noodle.
Big ones. And she would stuff them with her own meatball.
Ah,
She would, you make meatballs out of it, but she would make the meat, and she'd stuff them in there. It was the most amazing thing I've ever had.
huh.
And I remember when I was away at school in South Carolina during that time, that she sent me a glass
Like a
dish
casserole dish.
of those stuffed
Ah,
rigatoni.
I bet that was the best day of your young life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. See, again, food, memories, and childhood. I have to say, Court was telling us to watch Nonas. And we did.
Yes.
We
did.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I mean, you can totally relate
Yeah.
from the whole Italian.
Big time.
I could relate because Italians and Jewish people, culturally and food and the expressiveness, the same. And so my Nana, even though it was Jewish food, was like that, and with all of her friends. And so the yelling and the screaming and the this and the that, we were dying. What a great movie. Thank you. Thank you. Loved it.
It was great.
But I love how food, again, we're back to food, but it does play such a huge cultural role. And it's interesting, you brought up a really good point, because the immigrants who came here for a better life, a better opportunity. And it's interesting how many of whom adopted certain, let's say, tastes of the new country while still bringing flavors from the homeland.
Yeah.
And you got to experience that, and I got to experience that. And that's something that I still carry on to this day, because I'll cook my dad's dinner the exact same way he did it. I won't modify. Why would you ruin a good thing?
Sure.
Right?
Sure. And at some point, Styles will probably want to know how to make it.
So he'll hand the recipe to his wife.
Right.
Can you do this?
I'm going to go watch the game. You make this.
Exactly.
Let me know when it's done.
Right.
And my mother's side of the family was German.
Yeah.
And I remember plenty of sauerkraut stories as well. So when you mentioned that, I'm
The
like,
cabbage.
I know about sauerkraut.
Oh, yeah. I
But
grew up on cabbage.
My Italian grandparents were the epitome. They were every Italian stereotype you can think of. You see these, for those of you that think that these movies like Moonstruck and all these kind
Overdo
of
it?
are just kind of comedic things. No.
No, it's real.
They're rooted in reality. My grandparents came over from Napoli. They had clear plastic covers on all of the furniture.
Yeah.
All the time.
The formal living was covered always.
All the time. You sit on the plastic.
Right.
Pictures of Mary and Jesus, doing this with the glowing heart. Rosaries hanging all over. My grandma wouldn't even eat. She would circle
the table.
the round table, looking over your shoulder to see if you were eating or if you needed some more. And I mean, and she would slave away cooking. Had growing her own tomatoes in the backyard. Grandpa, grandfather worked in a coal mine. I mean, how stereotypical is this? Died of black lung from a coal miner, walking around the house smoking a cigar. Grandmother worked in like a sewing machine factory. I mean, every stereotype. And so whenever I see those things, it reminds me, have very fond memories of them. And when I took you back,
we went to
visit
Uncle
that
Joe.
area. Yeah, I went to Uncle Joe. Goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh.
Uncle
Well,
Joe.
we did a little social media post about him and his little tomato garden in the backyard and the bunnies that eat the tomatoes. And to see he's 90 something, living independently there in Greensburg, PA. What a joy to witness. And of course, like you said, the small house, all the old traditional antique furniture, and he kept giving us stuff. We have a piece of coral that he gave us, among other things. He's like, here, take it.
And he's always lived in that house. I remember that house when I was a little boy, and we would go to Uncle Joe's house and Aunt Gloria, and who's passed, and he had three cousins, Paula, Donna, and Janice, who are all now married. One of them married like my camp counselor from the YMCA camp I went to, and like I kind of know who they all married, but small area, and talking about the food, you mentioned the food. I was just thinking, it's not the food itself, It's the connection to a person
Yes.
or an experience. When you taste something,
Yeah.
it brings back
Them.
memories of the person that introduced you to that, or the person that made it for you, or the person you shared it with, or the family, or the tradition that it came out of.
Right.
It's not the food itself. It's the deeper, larger memory that it conjures.
You are 100% right. And I shared recently how in November of 21, and I was going through a really tough time in my life and going through a divorce and was living in an apartment in the same high rise with my mom and had Styles there. And I cooked Dad's turkey, and it was my mother's favorite meal. Oh my gosh, how she loved that meal. And it was, you know what, baby, it was the one thing that gave me a sense of peace and family during the most disruptive time, as you know, in somebody's life. And it is incredible the power that that meal can hold, to your point, because it's not about the food, it's about the people. It's the connection to the people. And as I listen, I've got so many thoughts that come up in my head as I listen, because that's what you get for being a journalist for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, don't forget that, don't forget that. As I was listening to you tell the story with such color, the tapestry of your family and the colorful people, and it made me think we are so blessed because we are at an age, I think we're the last generation for us to have parents who had so much color and culture and stories and history unlike anything we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you think about now where families, and you see this, and it breaks my heart. You see families dining out, everybody's on a cell phone. Nobody's conversing. There's no connection. There's no connection over food. The homemade meals that you and I once grew up with, nobody's got time for that. So it's dying. And I personally feel so grateful that I get to have that story
Yeah.
and that memory, as I know you are too, and that I get to carry that on and share my meal with you and to continue that for Styles because I know he enjoys it. But I feel like we are losing it.
Yeah.
We're losing it. And I don't know how much longer tradition in this way will sustain, let alone coming back to a place of gratitude. It almost makes me wonder what this holiday is going to look like. Are people even going to be thankful for being in America? I don't even want to go off into all of that, but I mean, I feel like I have so much to be thankful for, not just personally, but I love my
Everybody
country.
does.
I love my country.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
On their darkest day, and we know people in our lives and in our circle of friendships who may be going through some difficult times. And even in those difficult times, there is so much to be thankful for. This seems like a good time to bring up what we read last week that I felt was relevant here. I even mentioned it this morning when we were reading. The passage that we read, that people are so used to things going their way, so used to kind of getting what they want and having what they want, that when something bad happens, they think, why me? Why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. They're so used to things going their way, they get into this routine of thinking everything's good, and when something difficult comes along, they feel attacked and put upon and mistreated, when all of those things that they were taking for granted were gifts to be grateful for. When somebody says, why me? I can't help but think, why not? Why not me? Do I deserve any special exception to anyone else? The world we live in is full of highs and lows and successes and failures and challenges and victories. And it's so easy to get used to the good things that when something difficult comes along, you think it's so unfair. But what if all of the good stuff was unfair?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? What if all the good stuff was really a gift that you didn't necessarily deserve, but you were given?
Well,
Love,
that's the
friendship,
truth.
health, eyesight,
Yeah.
breath,
Mm-hmm.
hearing, mobility, work, a roof, not
Mm-hmm.
clothing. You know, what if all that was the gift
Right.
that you really didn't deserve,
Well, it
but you have, and you know, it completely changes
yeah.
your perspective on when difficult things happen.
Well, it's and to your point, do we ever say when the gift of love or a promotion or a child, do we ever say, "Why me?" Do we ever say that in those moments?
I do. I do every time I look at you.
Mm,
And it's mostly because after many, many, many years of trying, of making mistakes, of try, you know, of little by little feeling the sense of futility
mm,
sneaking in a little bit each day, the sense of cynicism, of hopelessness. Um, I, I, I feel that every day. I didn't. What did I do to deserve this?
hmm,
I didn't. In fact, I've adopted a saying that I've used several times, both in front of large crowds I was speaking to and privately.
mm,
That I said it. I think I said it this morning when we were praying.
mm,
If my life ended tomorrow, I have been more blessed than
mm.
I ever deserved.
It's true.
If I never got another thing, I have been given more and blessed with more than I could have possibly ever earned or deserved. And I really feel like God can use
Mm.
that kind of perspective, you know?
I feel like people can use that kind of perspective.
I mean, God can use it in us. If we
Yes.
have that perspective,
Yes.
if people can have that perspective, that it can be incredibly powerful in in redeeming friendships,
Mm.
in saving relationships, in encouraging others, uplifting spirits, creating hope, you know?
If you've noticed the little signs, lighter sleep, lower energy, creaky joints, you're not alone. I'm focused on feeling strong and clear for the long haul, which is why I'm excited about C15 from Fatty 15, the first new essential fatty acid discovered in more than 90 years. Fatty 15's co founder, Dr. Stephanie Venn Watson, uncovered the benefits of C15 while working with the U.S. Navy studying aging dolphins. Now, with 100 plus studies, we know C15 helps strengthen cells and support healthy aging at the cellular level. When we're low on C15, something that may affect 1 in 3 people, cells get fragile and they age faster. A team of doctors refined a pure, optimized, bioavailable C15 in Fatty 15. It's vegan friendly, patented, 100% pure, and free of flavors, allergens, and preservatives. Many people report benefits within 16 weeks: smoother feeling joints, deeper sleep, healthier hair, skin, and nails. And studies show increases in C15 levels tied to healthier cholesterol, liver function, gut microbiome, and red blood cell health within 3 months. I love that it's a one tiny daily capsule in a chic, reusable glass bamboo jar, easy, sustainable, and done. Fatty 15 is on a mission to optimize your C15 levels to help support your long term health and wellness, especially as you age. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/flourishing and use code flourishing at checkout. Holiday events and parties are about to be in full swing, but let's face it, getting ready can feel like such a hassle. Too much makeup, too many steps. By the end of the night, you feel like the makeup is wearing you. Hey, I have been there. That's why I love Jones Road Beauty. We all know it is minimalist makeup that just makes sense. It was created by the iconic Bobbi Brown. Every product is clean, versatile, and incredibly easy to use. This is makeup that works with our skin and not against it. And perfect timing. Jones Road just dropped their most giftable, exclusive holiday collection yet. All 5 limited edition kits are trios with new holiday shades, new packaging, and curated products that take the guesswork out of holiday glam. Whether you're gifting or getting ready for a party, these sets make it effortless, but they are limited edition, so when they're gone, they're gone. Honestly, the whole Jones Road collection just fits into that effortless, natural vibe. Their bestseller, Miracle Balm, it's my favorite multitasker. It's skincare meets makeup all in one. My shade is pinky bronze. You can use it as a blush, a bronzer, a highlight, even on the lips. It's perfect. So, this holiday season, simplify your routine with makeup that is clean, strategic, and multifunctional. From November 18th through December 1st, Jones Road is doing their first ever Black Friday sale. Go to jonesroadbeauty.com to get up to 20% off site wide. That's jonesroadbeauty.com for up to 20% off your entire order. After your purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Okay, tell me I'm not the only one who's had this moment. You come home, you're starving, you open the fridge, and somehow there's nothing but condiments staring back at you. And then suddenly the idea of chopping, sauteing, and cleaning just feels like a full time Olympic sport. Well, no bueno. And that's where Tovala comes in. Tovala is this genius combo of fresh meals and a smart oven that literally cooks everything for you. You just scan the meal's QR code, you pop it in. This oven does the rest steaming, baking, broiling perfectly and automatically. No decisions, no stress, no, is this done yet? And during Tavala's Black Friday sale, it just got even better. The other night, I made their filet mignon in creamy peppercorn sauce with buttery roasted root vegetables. Doesn't that sound awesome? Yeah, it was. Their meals are chef crafted with real, fresh ingredients, and they taste like actual home cooked meals without the dishes, without all of the work. I love Tovala. And for a limited time, because you are an over 50 and flourishing listener, during Tovala's Black Friday sale, you can get a free Tovala Smart Oven when you order meals 6+ times by heading to tovala.com/flourishing and use my code flourishing. That is a free Tovala Smart Oven when you head to tovala.com/flourishing and use promo code flourishing. One last time, it's TOVALA.com to make sure you use my promo code flourishing for a free Tovala Smart Oven. Remember, with Tovala, dinner is taken care of. Well, we are also incredibly thankful for this wonderful guy.
Oh my goodness!
Goodness
Yes.
gracious. Oscar joined the party. We don't talk about this much because we kind of lose it if we do, but he's getting up there. And
Hey, doggy.
I
Hey,
am
puppy.
I am so
Hi.
grateful. You know, he's limps a little bit with his front left paw, probably a little arthritis. But this is the first dog that I have been this attached to. You know, had him as a puppy, and he's now 13. And yeah, I every day with him is precious. Every interaction. I mean, we just like this morning we're reading, and he put his little face up on the couch, and it was just cute. And you grabbed your phone and took a picture
You
of the
sure
coffee
did.
mug next to the little doggy face. And I'll tell you what, I am so thankful for that animal, and not just the comfort and love that he's brought me, but also the dynamic with you. And you got a fur baby. You got a package deal in all of this. You got a stepson and a fur baby.
Yes, I do.
And I love that for you. And I love that for us, that we get to share him and just watching his love and adoration of you. And just, oh my gosh, he will get into a kissing fest with you and won't stop. And it's just, honestly, it brings me so much joy. Animals bring so much joy.
Hey,
Right?
who's the sweetest doggy?
See, I'm the sweetest
You
dog.
are.
Yeah. So
I'm very grateful. Yes, I'm so grateful for him. And
know.
I just, I always, it's a perfect example. Okay, here's a perfect example of what we're talking about.
What?
I think about him and you, and there's something in my mind that says, why couldn't I have found this 10 years earlier?
We talk about that.
And yet, I can choose to focus on the gratitude of having been given it at all, or I can focus on the negative side of
Why didn't I get this
of
sooner?
only finding it now.
Yeah.
That perspective, I think, would change a lot of things in this world, quite honestly, if more people had that perspective.
Yeah. We were talking earlier about why me. My whole feeling is finally me, finally me, and we talk about this all the time. God's timing is perfect, and we can't question, why we came into each other's lives in this season. But I am so grateful, so grateful that we did. And I think about, you know, to your point, sure. I mean, I feel like we're playing catch up with time, and try not too much to think about time, because, and I also try not to limit that, because there's eternity
Yes.
also. And that's forever, where our souls get to dance together,
Yeah.
and you can play piano for me,
And I will.
and you will. Um, but it's hard. And then I remember some seasons were just kind of harder to journey through. And, the work that I used to do, the travel that you used to do, and to this day still do. And for those of you who don't know, I mean, you travel a lot, especially during this season. This is a real busy season for you. So practically every weekend you're gone at conventions and Comic Cons and
Signings of different
signings
sorts.
and
Yeah.
different, yeah. It's just a busy time. And it's a blessing, for you to continue to live off of an incredible body of work that you've produced, and to have such a large fan base of people who just are so connected to the characters that you voiced, and continue to come out in droves. But I I have seen you in action, and the testimony to that is how you make people feel. Um, you give so much of yourself in those moments, and make people feel valuable and cared for, which is the best gift. It's what we want, human connection. But I remind myself that we were brought together at this time, and I think about, okay, well, he's busy, but you know what, I'm independent now, and I can work whenever I want to work. I can work on weekends while you're gone, which is what I do. So when you come back home, we get a lot of time together to
Mm.
hang and play and
Yes.
do what we want to do. And we're not in the throes of, teenage years and parenting rebellious kids, going through phases or attitudes, or, stuff like that. I mean, I as my heart yearns for more time with you, and oh shoot, why couldn't we have come together sooner? We also came together at a time in our lives where we really have a lot of each other.
Yes.
And for that, I am truly grateful, because besides my son, there's nobody on earth I would rather spend all my days with than you. And it's fun.
There's nobody I would rather spend my days with, and there's no exception. There are no exceptions.
Yeah.
It's you. I mean, I love my mom, but I mean, I had many many years with her.
Right.
She put up with me for a long time, and um, but yeah, when I do these events, and it's easy again, perspective. It's
Hmm.
people even at the events, organizers will come to me and go, "How'd you do? Are you, did you do good? Did you? How do you feel?" And I've just started saying, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's all
Hmm.
blessing.
Yeah.
It is all blessing. And trying to just reframe the mind instead of comparing it
Hmm.
to a bigger event, or I made more here, or there were more people at this one, or whatever. It's all a gift.
Hmm.
And you start comparing, and it can make you, cynical or somehow disappointed with what you've been given, instead of just being grateful for what you've been given.
Mm.
Period.
What I love is you've brought a kingdom minded attitude and spirit to it. And for you now, it's about impact. And I see that, and I see how touched you get when the impact is great.
Yeah. And I didn't used to.
Yeah.
I will acknowledge that
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't used to. I've always cared about people.
Yes.
I've always, from the moment that God opened a door for me to start voice acting, at I was, you know, 40, late 30s when I started, and from the very beginning, I always saw it as an opportunity to hopefully have a positive impact. In fact, one of the biggest, again, when my marriage ended 25 years ago, one of the biggest losses were my stepchildren that I loved dearly, as if they were my own. People have always told me, well, if they were your biological kids, you would even feel a greater loss. Well, okay, maybe. I don't know what that would feel like, but I know what this felt like, and it felt like a biological loss. I thought, I was going to have this lifelong relationship with them, and it was a great loss. And so what that ended up doing was I started seeing all of these people that enjoyed my work as an opportunity to sow into their lives in many ways, in the same way that a father would sow into his children's life. Like, I suddenly, overnight, didn't have any kids anymore. And so I started focusing more on, well, these are kind of surrogate. And I gotten emails, hundreds of emails over the years from people that have enjoyed my work saying, I consider you like a father, like a father figure, and I look up to you like a dad. And in many cases, because they didn't really have a dad that maybe was that engaged in their lives, kind of like me. So I feel like what God has given me in my career has been the opportunity to almost have replace those things that were lost or missing.
Deep, but makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as we button things up, first of all, thanks for being on my Thanksgiving episode.
Always.
Nobody I would rather share this platform with than you, my love.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
And I'm glad we can give them a break from their family during Thanksgiving week to jump
If you
into.
need one,
If you
here
need
it
one,
is.
we're here for you. Into our little nucleus here, our very small but loving family. So thank you. So I guess let's button it up with what we're most thankful for this year.
So we'll get ready because
Okay.
I'm coming back to you. Well, I mean, it goes without saying, but I will never go without saying you and all that entails, your furry companion and that I've adopted as
Your
my
little
own.
dog too.
Styles, my mom,
Yeah.
that I still have and who's in good health.
What a blessing that is.
Very great. Yes, what a blessing.
Yeah.
The opportunities that I've been given to use the talents that I've been loaned by God, they're not mine, He just entrusted them to me, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to use them. The opportunity to still get chances to do events and meet people who've enjoyed my work. When you start out doing something like this 2.5 decades ago, you never know how long it's going to last. You don't know what you're going to be a part of.
Yeah.
You don't know whether it's going to resonate with anyone. So the fact that a lot of my voice work has meant a lot to people, and the Star Trek series that people have really embraced. I'm incredibly grateful that people continue to appreciate my work and the opportunity to go places and meet those people. Certainly health. We are never guaranteed great health, and especially as you get older, you never know what's going to pop up. So I'm incredibly grateful for the health, to exercise and play sports and do stuff with you, and the list is too long. It's really too long. And my prayer for everyone, all of you, would be that if somebody asks you what you're thankful for, that you would have a list that is too long. That you could just go on and on and on. Because if you really step back and think about what you've been given that you didn't buy, you didn't build, you didn't earn, the list is exhaustive, and people often don't think about those things.
Yeah, you're right.
So what are you grateful for?
Well, darling, I am in agreement with building lists, and I love journaling and writing, especially during my dark periods. I find that my best writing always happens when I'm really hurt or really mad. I don't know. I guess
I hope you haven't been writing much.
I haven't been writing in a while. I'll have you know. Um, but it's true, and I think when we journey through hard times and dark times, it's very important not to lose sight of all that you just talked about, because you tend to magnify your problems instead of magnifying God and all the gifts that He's given. So I do believe that is critically important, to start each day with gratitude and to build that list and to make it long, because I know, I don't think, I know we can all have a very, very long list.
Yeah.
And I think that is the best way to root yourself. It is the best way to start your day, is by practicing and giving thanks for what you do have and what you've been blessed with.
And end your day.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
the
wrap
fact that
it
you
all the way
got the
around.
day. Exactly.
Yes.
That's, I mean, we start the day with thank you for the day. It wasn't guaranteed, you know? What a gift. So, speaking of gifts, clearly, you coming into my life and the nature of this love and this marriage and the beauty in it and the joy and the depth and the breadth and the width, and it, it's as tall as it is wide, and it continues. And I don't even have words to describe how I feel about you and how I feel about me in this marriage. You give me such peace. You give me peace. And I have not had peace in my life. So you give me peace. And you give me a calm and comfort and trust. And I am me with you. And I love that. So thank you. Because and you hear me, you listen. You're a man of faith. We are rooted, our marriage is rooted in the Lord. So I am also incredibly grateful for my relationship with my Heavenly Father, and how it continues to strengthen. And I also thank you for that and what you have brought into my life in that way. I think we give to each other something really, really unique.
Yes.
You give to me the background I didn't have. You give to me the scripture and the references that I didn't have. And I give to you this unabashed, unapologetic love for the Lord. This amazing thing, like a girl running to her daddy type of expectancy and love. And it's not on me anymore. It's not about me. I don't have to do this by myself. You are carrying me.
That's the incredible freedom that the Bible talks about. Freedom from what? Freedom from yourself.
From yourself.
Freedom from the pressure of thinking you've got to do it.
Absolutely. Yes. So I'm grateful for that and the continued growth for me in that area, and understanding and embracing. That would also include our church. I am very grateful for the place where we worship, and the level of trust and the leadership and the feeling that I get while there, surrounded by a body of believers. I am so thankful for my son and watching him become a man, watching just the changes and levels of maturity in him and the things that he's thinking about and the things that he's taking on, the focus in his work, the focus in career now and moving forward, and even, just moving past certain childlike, college-like things that you would do, or, trends or whatever. I see him separating and becoming more on the path of being an adult and making really great choices, and watching his relationship with the Lord flourish. It's endless. Friends who enrich this beautiful thing that I get to call a career that to me is like play. And I know you feel the same
Yes,
way about
yes.
what you do. It's not work, it's pleasure. And that there are people here who enjoy it and appreciate it and come to it. I'm so grateful for that. So grateful.
Yes.
For the friends in my life, for Courtney, the people who have been with me, who stick by me, who encourage me, who, help me level up in different ways in life. It's just there. It's everything. It's everything. Again, the list is so long. The beautiful day, the weather up here, the walks. I mean, I just on and on and on. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't stop giving thanks. And I'm thankful that I get to cook my dad's traditional German turkey for you again this year.
And I'm thankful to devour it in great enjoyment.
Cabbage and all, right?
You mean sauerkraut?
Cabbage.
Well,
The red cabbage.
oh,
Uh-oh.
well, jury's out on that. But
It's all right. I'll eat it all.
see, if we just left it with the cake part.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Yeah, the puffer.
My gift to you
is?
my Thanksgiving gift to you is I'm going to paint this wall mustard yellow.
Star Trek Command Gold. Mustard
Thank you.
yellow.
Thank you.
I know, I've been corrected. Although it's
Yeah,
still,
you know-
people would say that wasn't mustard. I'm like, but I ate Grey Poupon, and it was closer to that color.
Yeah, but it was kind of a brown mustard. It wasn't the mustard one.
Well, it's
Anyway,
not the yellow Frenchie's mustard. I was Grey Poupon.
let's have some of that for Thanksgiving.
Let's put it on
We'll
the
dip
turkey.
in. Yes. And I think Taco Bell has a turkey burrito for Thanksgiving. So there's a great meal.
A turkey burrito?
I just made that up.
Well, I think you need to make it. Why don't
Maybe
you
the-
make it from the leftovers and make that for breakfast? The turkey
my
breakfast
goodness.
burrito. Will you do that for me?
I'll do anything for you.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
what?
listening to what you said about our relationship, I just kind of said, I'm so thankful for you. I didn't really go into as much detail
Well,
as
it's
you.
not a
but
competition.
maybe it is.
All right, fine. You want to outlove me?
That's why I'm
Go
winning,
for
because
it.
you don't think it's a competition. No, all I was going to say was you said something that resonates with me so much, and that is, I would like to think that I am the person I always hoped I would be in a relationship with you because of you, because of the uniqueness of the way we connect and the way we've come together and how we overlap and intertwine in so many different ways. I feel such a sense of joy and humility and gratitude that I feel much more like the person I always hoped I would be in a relationship. Long time coming. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I'm glad I brought those things out in you. I'm the lucky beneficiary. So thank you. And thank all of you for joining us today. We wish you an incredibly happy and blessed Thanksgiving. However you're celebrating it, if it's, in a big group with a lot of family or smaller, or, maybe you're like Vic's mom and by yourself, and hope you seize the opportunity to reach out and be of service to somebody else. But happy Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday. Appreciate you being here. I am thankful for you and your viewership. So we'll see you next week.